Hey, our good buddy David Lee, who is the CEO and founder of Iveda Solutions, who was in our studio last time before he fled to 7 other countries. I mean, he was traveling for so long. I feel better that he's back in town because we just didn't get a chance to talk to him the last couple of weeks like we wanted to. Iveda.com is an AI video platform. Smart city technology. Here we broadcast from San Diego, California. You might be watching us in New York City or driving down the road somewhere in Opelika, Alabama, or even hearing us in a foreign country because of American Forces Radio Network. But San Diego has been voted the #1 smart city several times here. Did you know that? Smart city. You're lowering the curve clearly.
I knew there was a joke coming. There was
it wasn't until you
there
made
was a
that
curveball
face.
coming, literally.
Not until you made that face. I was fine.
Okay.
So, David, how are you, brother? Good to talk to you. When do we get you back in studio, pal?
I'm good, Sully. I'd be happy to drive back out there. You know, I just came back from Northern and Southern Cal with the family, so just got back yesterday. Didn't want to have to drive out today, so I'm happy to be here.
You know, they have planes, David. There's airports there in Arizona. He's the smartest guy, literally the smartest human I know.
Yeah.
David Lee. I got to tell him about how to travel. Come on. Hey, David, let's talk about, you were the founder of Iveda. And I want to talk about smart cities again, because a lot of people don't. We hear it a lot in San Diego about smart city technology and why AI is integral to them. But talk about even what is a smart city?
A smart city is a city that actually leverages a multitude of different technologies, Sully. It could be everything from how much water you're consuming, how much power a city is consuming. Therefore, having such data can help you, get into preservation. And of course, there's safety and security. A lot of people think safety and security is alarm systems and a bunch of cameras all over the place. A smart city takes it a notch above that. Having such data, not just an alarm, when it alarms, why it alarms, what does a camera see, what does a camera need to look for? Adding smarts to it means that you're building upon technology that already exists, infrastructure that already exists, but makes it work for you rather than you need to always work for it.
Yeah, and first of all, that increases productivity and it saves money, and it honestly is the way to growth in the future. And I want to talk about the AI part of this, because artificial intelligence is integral to smart cities, and that's the business you're in. So talk about that. How is AI integral, and then how is AI changing the way governments, municipalities are building infrastructure?
Great stuff. AI speaks for itself, right? Artificial intelligence. With any systems, any platform, within any infrastructure, given a city, there's always a requirement of the human interaction or human intervention. And that requires time, staff, resource, etc. And around the clock, it's a lot of people and a lot of time. Added AI gives you that support. It augments where a human cannot be present at all times. It helps makes decision. It brings in data quicker, and it brings in relevant data rather than just any willy-nilly piece of information. So again, it's there on behalf of a human. It's quicker, it's smarter, and I always call it's doing the same thing a human should be doing, except it's superhuman speed and accuracy.
And talk about, the least, the dirtiest hamper in the room is always the municipality, the government, right? How do we trust government to wrangle AI to help us as citizens of the many smart cities in our country and our world?
I shared this with you before, I believe, is when people hear AI, they think of the futuristic movies where robots go and take over,
right,
the world. When it comes to municipalities, I've had some recent experience when I was over in Taipei and the Philippines, Sully, last time I called in with you. I was speaking to the Philippines National Police. I can share that. And, the general there was just so involved in wanting to do good for his people. They have pictures of terrorists that he says, David, we put a lot of infrastructure in place, meaning cameras at the airports, the harbors, the train stations, bus stops everywhere, because no matter who you are, you've got to be passing through these major infrastructure within a city. So he says, look, all I want to do is have some intelligence support that identifies and notifies us when somebody of interest passes through there, you know, and really that piece of information resides within his network, but it actively does the job for him. There's no nosy people behind the scenes looking for anybody because it's not designed to do that. The movies say it does that, but in the real world, nobody has time, nobody has the resources, and where there is resources, they just want to do one thing. That's it.
So David, you talked about misconceptions about AI, and I think that's important. So currently, are you seeing any pushback about technology, or is the adoption rate kind of growing as you know technologies grow? Because I think a lot of people have fear automatically that you guys are taking over the world.
I've got some good news. It's actually very positive and optimistic now. Very different, say, 4 years ago, not too long ago. But today, as we're having discussions, I think people are more educated. I think the agencies and the organizations that are looking for this augmented support, additional support that they need, they are becoming more educated, more in tune with the functional technology and what it really means, rather than the fantasies or the misconceptions from the movies. So I'm very happy to see that as a business, that means its adoption and acceptance is quicker now, and people know how to use it. Sully, I'm very excited about that. People are beginning to understand how to use technology.
And I think that's part of it. That as long as we get our municipalities to figure it out, then we're going to feel safer about it. David, get your butt in studio, pal. It's time. I'm going to buy you a plane ticket, okay, pal? All right, David Lee, CEO and founder of Iveda Solutions.